Ever thought of becoming an entrepreneur? Start with a bad plan. Yes, indeed, you heard it right. Kick off your entrepreneurial journey, not with a perfect blueprint, but a basic, even flawed plan. The trick is not to get all caught up in the minute details. Sure, they're important, but not right at the beginning, so what's the point of a bad plan? Well, it's simple. A bad plan is a starting point. It's a rough sketch that gives you a sense of direction, a hint of what could be. It's a reminder that you don't have to have everything figured out from the get-go. And let's be real, the first plan is almost always bad. It's like a first draft, full of potential but also full of holes. That's perfectly okay. It's not about getting it right the first time, it's about getting it started. Now you might be wondering, why not start with a good plan? Here's the thing, a good plan takes time, and time is a luxury that a budding entrepreneur can ill afford. While you're busy perfecting your plan, opportunities are slipping by and the world is moving on. A bad plan, on the other hand, is quick and dirty. It's a springboard that propels you into action, and action is where the magic happens. Remember, a plan is only as good as its execution. A brilliant plan that never sees the light of day is worth less than a bad plan that's been put into action. So get out there and make a bad plan. Make it basic, make it flawed, make it yours. And then take that plan and run with it. Run fast, run hard, and don't look back. Along the way, you'll learn, you'll grow, and you'll evolve. Your bad plan will morph bit by bit into a good one. And before you know it, you'll be well on your way to entrepreneurial success. Remember, it's okay to start with a bad plan. The key is to just start. After you've got your basic plan, it's time to assess the risks. Now, this might sound daunting, but think about it as a safety net. You're setting up a cushion to fall back on if things go south. First, let's dive into the worst-case scenarios. What if your product doesn't appeal to the market? What if a competitor swoops in with a similar idea? Or what if you run out of funding? These are all very real possibilities. But instead of seeing them as reasons to quit, view them as challenges that need solutions. Now consider how you can prepare for these scenarios. Maybe you need to conduct more market research, diversify your product line, or secure additional funding. By identifying potential pitfalls, you're positioning yourself to tackle them head-on and not be caught off guard. But here's the tricky part. While it's essential to be aware of these risks, it's equally important not to let them consume you. Fear can be a powerful motivator, but it can also be a debilitating force if you let it control your decisions. So how do you strike a balance? Start by acknowledging your fears. Recognize that they're a natural part of the entrepreneurial journey. Then channel that fear into action. Use it to fuel your determination to succeed, to drive your creativity in finding solutions, and to push you to work harder. Remember, risk is a part of any business. It's not something to fear, but rather something to manage. The key is to anticipate the risks, prepare for them, and then push forward with resilience and determination. And if things don't go as planned, that's okay. Failure is not the end of the world. In fact, it's often through failure that we learn the most valuable lessons. So don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it to grow. Risk assessment is crucial, but don't let fear paralyze you. Instead, let it inspire you. Let it challenge you. And most importantly, let it propel you towards your goals with an unyielding spirit. Next step on your entrepreneurial journey, embrace a flexible mindset. Now, this might sound a bit vague, but let's break it down. In your entrepreneurial journey, there will be days where nothing goes right. Your plans might fail, your strategies might backfire. But hey, that's all part of the game. You see, the landscape of business is constantly changing. New technologies emerge, market trends shift, and customer preferences evolve. So it's not enough to just have a plan. You need to be able to adapt that plan to the changing circumstances. That's where a flexible mindset comes into play. Imagine your business journey as a sailing voyage. You've set a course, but the wind and waves will inevitably shift. Do you stubbornly stick to your original course and risk capsizing? Or do you adjust your sails, change your route, and keep moving forward? The choice is clear. Flexibility also means being open to new ideas. Sometimes the best solutions come from the most unexpected places. So don't be afraid to think outside the box. Embrace different perspectives, explore new angles, and never stop learning. But remember, flexibility doesn't mean aimlessness. It's not about changing your goals every other day. It's about finding different ways to reach those goals when your initial plan doesn't work out. It's about being resilient in the face of adversity and never losing sight of your vision. And yes, it's easier said than done. Flexibility requires patience, humility, and courage. It demands that you step out of your comfort zone, face your fears, and embrace uncertainty. It's a journey, not a destination. So when you face challenges, and trust me, you will, don't be disheartened. Don't see them as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn, grow, and evolve. Remember, every challenge you overcome brings you one step closer to your goal. Challenges are inevitable. The key is to persevere and remain flexible. And remember, success is not just about reaching your destination. It's about the journey you take, the lessons you learn, and the person you become along the way. So keep sailing, keep adapting, and keep moving forward. Your entrepreneurial journey is just beginning. Identify the simplest tasks. Consistently do them. This is the essence of simplicity. In the world of entrepreneurship, we're often encouraged to think big, to dream large. But success isn't just about the grand plans and the sweeping visions. It's about those small, seemingly insignificant tasks that we do day in and day out. They might not seem like much in the moment, but collectively, they make all the difference. Think about it like this. Rome wasn't built in a day. It was built brick by brick, stone by stone. Each brick might not seem like much on its own, but put them together, and you have a city that stands the test of time. The same principle applies to your entrepreneurial journey. It's the daily emails you send out, the regular updates you post, the constant networking you do. Each task might not seem like it's making a huge difference, but collectively, they're laying the foundation for your success. But here's the thing, consistency is key. It's not enough to do these tasks once or twice and then forget about them. You need to keep at it day after day, week after week. That's how you build momentum. That's how you start to see progress. And progress doesn't always look like a straight line. There will be ups and downs, twists and turns, but every step you take, every task you complete, brings you one step closer to your goal. So don't overlook the small stuff. Embrace it, cherish it, because it's in those simple, consistent actions that you'll find your path to success. And remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. It's about showing up day after day and doing the work, even when it's hard, even when you feel like you're not making any progress. Because in the end, it's those simple, consistent actions that will lead you to your goal. It's those small daily tasks that will build your empire. So keep it simple, stay consistent, and watch as your bad plan transforms into a winning strategy. Remember, small, consistent actions lead to big progress. As you keep up with these steps, you'll start to see patterns and insights. It's like a dance. You're in the rhythm now. You're moving to the beat of your own drum, and guess what? Your basic plan, that one you thought was bad, it's starting to shape up. That's the beauty of action, consistency, and evaluation. You see every step you take, every risk you assess, every time you flex your adaptability muscles. You're not just moving forward, you're learning. You're gathering data, and that data is like gold dust. It's raw, it's unrefined, but it's incredibly valuable. Think of it like this. You're a detective, and your business is the mystery you're solving. Every action you take, every reaction you observe, it's a clue. And as you collect those clues, as you analyze them and find the connections, a picture starts to form. Suddenly, your bad plan is looking a lot less like a sketch and a lot more like a detailed blueprint. Remember when you started, you had a basic plan. It wasn't perfect, and that's okay. What mattered was that you started. You took that first step and then the next and the next. And with each step, you learned something new. You tweaked your plan, made adjustments, and moved forward. This is the feedback loop in action. It's a process of doing, reviewing, learning, and then doing some more. It's not about getting it right the first time. It's about constant evolution, about turning that bad plan into a winning one. And the best part, this loop, it never ends. As long as you're in the game, as long as you're taking action, you're learning, you're growing, you're evolving. So don't be discouraged if your plan doesn't seem perfect from the get-go. Embrace the process, trust the journey, and remember, every step you take is a step towards success. Your bad plan can evolve into a winning one. Just keep going. The final stage, evolve the plan with numbers. You've heard the saying, what gets measured gets managed, right? Well, that's precisely what we're talking about here. We're not suggesting you become a slave to spreadsheets, but tracking your progress is essential. Imagine you're on a journey. You have a map, but if you don't know where you are on that map, how will you determine the best route to your destination? The same applies to your entrepreneurial journey. Keep track of your daily actions, your wins, your losses. Note down the patterns you see, the things that work and those that don't. In the world of entrepreneurship, numbers speak louder than words. They reveal the truth about your business. They show you where you're excelling and where you're falling short. They help you make informed decisions rather than ones based on gut feelings or assumptions. But remember, evolving with numbers doesn't mean obsessing over them. It means using them as a tool for growth, for optimization. It's about understanding the story they tell about your business. Are sales declining? Maybe it's time to reassess your marketing strategy. Are profits soaring? Perhaps it's time to scale up. Numbers can also help you set realistic goals. If you're aiming to increase sales by 20%, what steps do you need to take to achieve that? How many new customers do you need? How many existing customers do you need to retain? By breaking down your goals into quantifiable steps, you make them more achievable. And finally, remember that it's not just about the big numbers. Small progress adds up. A 1% improvement each day leads to a 37% improvement over a year. So don't disregard the small victories. Celebrate them, learn from them, and use them to fuel your journey. So start tracking, start measuring, start evolving. Remember, small progress adds up. Keep track and optimize your journey. Recognize when to pivot and embrace new directions. This is the mantra of the wise entrepreneur. Pivoting, the act of changing direction when your current path isn't working, is not only essential, it's inevitable. It's the turn of the tide, the shift in the game, the moment you decide to take a different path to success. In the world of entrepreneurship, the ability to pivot is as essential as the air we breathe. Why? Because no plan, no matter how foolproof, is immune to the unpredictable nature of business. Market trends shift, customer needs evolve, and new competitors emerge. In the face of such changes, sticking to an outdated plan can be like trying to sail against the wind. So how do we pivot effectively? It starts with awareness. Keep a keen eye on the horizon. Listen to your customers, watch your competitors, and stay informed about industry trends. When you sense a change in the wind, that's your cue. It's time to adjust your sails and chart a new course. But remember, pivoting doesn't mean throwing out your entire plan. It means adjusting it, refining it, shaping it into something better. It's about keeping the essence of your vision intact, while being flexible enough to adapt your strategy. It's a dance between persistence and flexibility, between holding on and letting go. Embrace change. Embrace the unknown. Remember, the most successful entrepreneurs are not those who stick rigidly to their initial plan, but those who adapt and evolve with the times. This is the beauty of pivoting. It's a fresh start, a new beginning. It's the opportunity to learn from your mistakes, to grow, to innovate. It's the moment you realize that the road to success is not a straight line, but a winding path full of twists and turns. So when the going gets tough, when the winds of change blow, don't be afraid to pivot. Change your strategy, change your direction, change your perspective, but never change your vision, your passion, your drive. Success often requires a pivot. Don't be afraid to change directions. Because remember, the only constant in business is change, and the only way to navigate change is to pivot. Avoiding common entrepreneurial missteps is crucial. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's delve into some of the common pitfalls that aspiring entrepreneurs tend to tumble into. First up is the trap of over-planning. It's easy to get caught up in the minutiae of a business plan, trying to account for every little detail that could possibly arise. But remember, while planning is important, over-planning can lead to analysis paralysis. A plan should serve as a guide, not a rigid framework that stifles creativity and agility. Next, we have the pitfall of trying to do too much. As an entrepreneur, you might feel the need to wear all the hats, juggle all the balls, and be a one-man or one-woman show. But here's a secret. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to delegate. It's okay to focus on your strengths and let others cover your weaknesses. And then there's the trap of seeking validation. It's natural to want approval and praise for your ideas, but relying too heavily on external validation can be detrimental. Remember, not everyone will see your vision, and that's okay. Trust your gut, believe in your ideas, and be prepared to face naysayers with grace and resilience. Lastly, don't forget the importance of self-care. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of entrepreneurship and neglect your own well-being. But remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself and you'll be better equipped to take care of your business. So there you have it, a quick rundown of some common entrepreneurial missteps. Overplanning, trying to do too much, seeking validation, and neglecting self-care. Avoid these traps and you're already a step ahead in your entrepreneurial journey. Avoid these common mistakes and keep moving forward. Trust in your abilities, learn from your mistakes, and remember, every step you take, even the missteps, is a step towards your entrepreneurial success. Remember, success starts with a flawed plan that evolves into a winning strategy. Yes, you might think that's a bit counterintuitive, but let's break it down. Imagine yourself as a sculptor. You start with a block of stone. That's your basic plan. It's rough, unpolished, and filled with potential. As you chip away, take risks, and assess the outcomes, you're refining your sculpture, shaping it into something more meaningful. You'll inevitably encounter obstacles along the way. The stone might be harder than you thought, or your chisel might slip. But with flexibility and perseverance, you adapt, you learn, and you keep going. You're not just sculpting a statue, you're sculpting your entrepreneurial journey. In this process, simplicity is your friend. Identify the simplest tasks and tackle them consistently. By doing so, you'll see progress, however small it might seem. And remember, even the smallest progress is still progress. It's these tiny steps that eventually add up to a significant journey. As you move forward, you'll start to see patterns, you'll gain insights, and you'll learn more about your plan and yourself. This is your feedback loop, your constant learning and adapting. It's what transforms your initial flawed plan into a winning strategy. Now comes the numbers game. Every bit of progress you make, every small step comes with numbers. Use these numbers to optimize your journey, to evolve your plan further. They are your compass, guiding you towards your ultimate goal. But what if your compass points in a new direction? That's when you pivot. Embrace this change, this new direction. It's not a setback, it's an opportunity, a chance for success to kick in. Avoid the common missteps. Over-planning, trying to do too much, seeking validation, skip them. They are distractions on your path to success. Remember, success starts with a flawed plan that evolves into a winning strategy. But it doesn't stop there. It grows, it flourishes, just like a plant nurtured with care and patience. Start small, persist, and watch your success grow. Now, it's your turn. Visualize your entrepreneurial journey as a road trip. You've got a car, a rough idea of the destination, but the map? Well, it's more of a sketch on a napkin than a detailed atlas. It's tempting to wait until you have a perfect plan, but remember, you're not waiting for a road trip. You're gearing up for an adventure. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, start with a flawed plan. Begin with the basics, the bare bones of your idea. Don't be afraid of its crudeness. It's a starting point, not the final destination. Also, remember to assess the risks. What could possibly go wrong? Keep those scenarios in mind, but don't let them paralyze you. Use them as guides, not as roadblocks. Now think about your mindset. Are you flexible enough to adapt when things don't go as planned? Because they won't always go as planned. And that's all right, it's a part of the adventure. Next, identify the simple tasks that you can do consistently. These little actions add up over time, pushing you forward even when progress seems slow. As you move along, you'll start to notice patterns. You'll gain insights. Your flawed plan will start to transform, evolve. It's not magic, it's the result of action and resilience. And numbers, they will become your new best friends. They'll help you optimize your journey, guiding you towards the most effective path. But the journey doesn't end there. You'll need to know when to pivot, when to change directions. That's where success kicks in. Along the way, avoid common entrepreneurial missteps. Over-planning, trying to do too much, seeking validation, skip them. They're not on your map. Remember, success starts with a flawed plan that evolves into a winning strategy through action and resilience. Start small, persist, and watch greatness unfold. Share with us. How do you plan to kickstart your entrepreneurial journey?